Hello, and welcome to Pique My Interest, the show dedicated to creativity. My name is Scoob Decker, and I am an artist, and your host. Pique My Interest is an exploration of art across North America in meeting some incredible artists, learning about their craft, and exploring what makes them create. Welcome to Pique My Interest. Hello, and welcome to Pique My Interest. I'm currently in the countryside of the northeast side of Oahu, sitting with this incredible artist. How are you doing today?
Aloha, I'm doing great.
Awesome. How's your morning been?
It's been amazing. Can't complain when you wake up to this beautiful place.
Oh my gosh, I will say we are in the countryside, we are outside. This is my first interview actually being outside, but it's fitting. It's wonderful. We just came a little bit earlier and we took one of your classes, but before we get into that, please introduce yourself. Who are you, what's your name, and where are you from?
Aloha, my name is Pamakane Pico, and I am originally from Molokai, and I grew up there, and I'm currently now living on Oahu. I'm a florist and a lei artist.
Fantastic. Yes, I was just going to say, please pique our interest. What is your craft?
Well, I grew up making leis, so my craft is making leis.
Yes, and what is your specialty within lei making?
My specialty is making a lei po'o, which is a lei for your head. My style is very vibrant and very loud and big, and it's kind of a rainbow, a Hawaiian rainbow.
Yeah, when I was researching leis, I found a lot of ones that are kind of oversaturated around here. There's ones that are mostly fake. A lot of people will buy plastic ones and whatnot. But when you find yours, when you go to Ocean Dreamer, you see these vibrant, these beautiful, these stunning leis. And I just had to reach out. So thanks for being here with me.
Mahalo.
Absolutely.
And welcome.
Thank you. And what makes your work a little different than others who also do leis?
I think for me, I really wanted to incorporate all of my background, like I have Tahitian and Samoan and Hawaiian, so I feel like a mixture of all of those, ethnicity.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about your upbringing here in Hawaii that made you want to be a lei maker?
For me, it was the culture. I grew up on Molokai where my mother was a lei maker, my grandmother was a lei maker, so it's passed down from generation to generation, and it was a normal thing that we did every day, making lei from our garden. And for me, I just fell in love with the art of lei making.
Yeah, the lei making is generational in your family. I was also reading in an article, you said while you were growing up, you kind of just thought a little differently. When somebody presented you with a task, you just went about it differently.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
I was learned like the traditional way where everything is bunched up and the flowers, you couldn't really see the flowers. So for me, when I was younger, I always told my mom, like, why can't we just see the flowers in the lei? So I would kind of, make it bigger. I wanted to put bigger flowers in the lei and make it look like a garden or like you're picking it out from the jungle.
And what a great place. You have the most stunning and beautiful flowers to select from, and I'm sure there are different ones come in different seasons.
Right.
So how on earth are you picking these certain flowers?
I think whatever calls to me.
Yeah.
And also you have a connection with the land and what you grow from wherever you grow it, and also you connect with the growers, the farmers that you buy from. And you want to support the local farmers out here, so I feel like that's very important when you pick your flowers. It kind of brings it all together and it supports the whole community.
Yeah, speaking of community, I want to learn a little bit about the Hawaiian culture and what leis mean for the Hawaiian culture.
For us, it's a meaning of aloha. It's an expression of our love, that when we make a lei, it's like we're giving you our love, and that's our respect.
Yeah.
So it's part of us, and what we grow and what we love about Hawaii is our land and the culture, the people, the colors, and it's all in one. So the lei represents all of that.
And when you're wearing a pamakane, it is a bright, vibrant aloha.
Yes, yes. And I hope that makes you feel that. You know, a lot of people, when they put it on, they become alive and they're like, wow,
yeah.
That made me just feel like a queen. Or
And so now that we've learned a little bit about what drew you into lei making, it's kind of in your family, you have now started Ocean Dreamer. Mm-hmm. You have a very wide range of flowers that you're picking. You're making different types of leis. Mm-hmm. To me, that says success. Do you consider yourself successful, and what is success in lei making?
You know, for me, success isn't about money or anything like that, but success in sharing the tradition and sharing what I have learned from been passed down to me, that I can share it with the world and people can see what, you know, authentic leis look like.
Yeah, I've learned that a little bit about the Hawaiian culture. It's very accepting, it's very inviting, and it's very humble. Mm-hmm. And everybody wants to be able to share. And I just think that that's the most wonderful thing. And how better to do it than with these beautiful leis? And I think it is just across the world you can see one of these leis and you get that sense of aloha.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And especially with someone native Hawaiian who is making a lei that's, you know, from here, Kanaka.
Yeah.
You know, it's very important where you get your lei.
Well, let's get into a little bit. How do you start the creation process? How do you make a lei? You are wearing one of the leis that we made today. Mm-hmm. So how do we start and how does it go?
You know, you're always going to start with the intention of aloha, and you're weaving the love of Hawaii into, you know, a beautiful lei. So every part of it is special. And when you start, you know, you're sharing that with the other person.
Yeah. And we started with these, what are they called? Straw?
So it's raffia.
Raffia. Mm-hmm. And we take what, like 5 or 6 strands of that?
Yes, we have, you know, we start with the raffia and we're going to braid it down, make our backbone for the lei. Mm-hmm. And we start to weave in our, whatever we have from, you know, the farm, we will weave it into a lei.
Yeah, and you do a lot of picking yourself. You also purchase from farmers around, and when we showed up, this center table was full of all these different colors. So how do you pick what goes into the raffia first? Once we put the flower in, then we take one of those strands and we kind of wrap it in, and it kind of secures it in there a little bit. But then we're able to add a little bit of fern and a little bit of greenery to kind of separate things.
Yes, yes. And it kind of like a pattern. You're kind of making a pattern. So for me, I like it when it's colorful. So I like to pick out bright colors that people won't think of. Mm-hmm. But just weaving the colors in as how you want it. And no lei is wrong. So whatever color you're feeling, you can pick your color combo. But, you know, I love when it's bright and loud.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually just going to bring up this quote that I found about you. You combine a mixture of traditional and modern flower styles with an immense amount of color. Yeah. Do leis normally have a lot of color in them?
Now, I feel like everyone is loving the colorful style, but back then it wasn't very colorful. They had a pattern that they stuck to. So it was like white, you know, pink, green, white, pink, green. And that style, it was called a haku lei. So it was a more traditional style lei. Okay. And this one is a lei po'o. I call it a lei po'o because it's a variety and different style of lei. It's an art. And you can, you know, put any type of flowers in. Whereas the haku lei, it's more of a tradition, so they keep it as a uniform style.
Yeah, so you're definitely branching this old tradition with a little bit of the new contemporary color and popping. I absolutely love that. And what a great way to bring the Hawaiian culture into your Ocean Dreamer aloha.
Yeah.
And I want to know, while you're working and creating leis, as the wind is picking up, yes, we are outside. Hopefully we can beat the rain. while you're working, I'm sure some flowers break or some petals fall off. How often do you have to adapt or change while you're working with a lei? And does that change the story of the lei?
No, I feel like, flowers are delicate. And when you work with flowers, you accept the fact that it is delicate flower, and if it breaks, you can, replace it with another.
Yeah.
And it's the same, as long as you have the same intention and bringing that aloha to it, it's the same story.
Yeah. When we were going, you definitely had, for us non-lei makers, a very instructional, and then you want to put in the carnation, and then you want to put in a fern, and then you want to put in the orchid, and then you want to put in the plumeria.
Yes.
While you're going on one random day, do you just say, I want to put in 6 plumeria and then 4 fern, and then just completely change the whole, like I said, the story of it?
Yes, you can definitely go with the flow of how you're feeling. And sometimes you would just, whatever is speaking to you, you just kind of pick up and put in. I feel like when it's calling you in that way, it's weaving your story.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because even though I put, we were kind of doing the same thing, we all looked different at the end. There was still a different, spark to it.
Even though we all had the same instructions, all of our product ended up vastly different.
Yes, it was your own style.
Yeah.
Your own story. Mo'olelo is the story.
Oh, okay. Mo'olelo.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And then I want to know, how do you overcome a creative block? I'm not sure if this happens because Hawaii is just blooming all the time, but is there ever a time where you go like, I just don't know what to make today, or this flower just isn't around, so I need to pivot and find something else?
Yeah, it just happened today. There was no hibiscus.
No
available,
hibiscus!
And we really wanted to show up the hibiscus that we are so known for. And I was like, oh. But you have to go with the flow, and you have to, go with what's available. And for me, if I have a creative block, nature is the best remedy.
Right. A lot of my artists say, I like to get out in nature, but guess where you are all the time?
Yes, I am here in nature. We're literally sitting in the middle of nature.
Yeah, just hopefully waiting for the rain to not come in.
Yes, we had a blessing, though, before you came, and the ua, the rain, we call it ua, and it blessed the flowers with all the rain, and we had the most beautiful clear.
It was fantastic.
Like when you guys came, it cleared up, and it was beautiful.
And then speaking of rituals, what happened after we made the leis?
So after we made the leis, we walked down to the vai, the water, and we dunked our lepo'o in the vai, running water, and we just kind of blessed it. We did a blessing over it. And that just brings the mana, the aloha, into the lei. And when you put it on your head, it's cleansing.
The mana.
Yes.
Yes, I've heard that word a lot. What is that?
It's like the energy, the strength, like, it's very special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then while you're overcoming a creative block or just out doing your regular day, do you have any hobbies? And do you think they complement or contradict lei making?
A lot of hobbies. I like to surf.
Okay.
I love surfing. Yeah. That helps me clear my mind out. That also helps me, like, get in that creative juices again. Because that's why I called it Ocean Dreamer.
Oh, okay.
Because I was going through a hard time in my life, and the ocean actually helped me get through this place where I found lei making again.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And what is Ocean Dreamer?
So ocean, for me, the ocean always cleansed me. Every time I got in the water, went surfing, that cleared my whole mindset. And in anything any hard thing that I went through or, wasn't feeling, I always go to the water, and it always cleanses my mind.
Right.
And it brought me back to my roots.
Your roots, the flower roots.
Yeah, yes.
No pun intended.
And I started to make lei again after that, and I shared it on my Instagram, not even thinking of anything, and people were just like, wow, what is that? What type of lei is that? Because
Right.
when I started back then, I think it was 2011, there was not much lei makers that were making big, loud flowers like this. And so I think when I put it out there, people were like, wow, what is that?
Right, yeah, you're
This is
just
so different. This is like beyond different.
breaking
So,
tradition.
right.
Yeah.
And it was breaking a traditional side of it because it wasn't how it normally looked.
Right.
But my mom gave me the blessing. My grandmother gave me, they were like, wow, that is amazing.
Right.
And
You-
that was everything to
Right.
me.
You broke tradition, but you also emphasized the
Yes.
tradition. Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Absolutely. And what,
It evolved.
yeah. And while you're out on the ocean getting refreshed, rejuvenated, you decided to create Ocean Dreamer, your company.
Yes.
And that is the lei making company?
Yes. So it just, honestly, it wasn't a business. It kind of became the business. I called myself Ocean Dreamer on Instagram just because I was falling back into the ocean. I was dreaming in the ocean, like dreaming up my life. And so I kind of called it that, and people just called me Ocean Dreamer. And I was like, that's cool. So I'll just make a business out of it.
Yeah.
And it became my business.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I want to know, going a little further, would you recommend going to school or taking classes to build on, not necessarily lei making, but floral arrangements? Or do you think that's something that you can learn from like a mentor?
I feel like you can learn from the mentor. You can learn from nature. For me, I never went to school for any of it. I learned from my kupuna and my mother, and it's in my blood, I think.
Right. And for somebody who isn't necessarily blood Hawaiian, or somebody who just wants to get into lei making, is lei making a traditional Hawaiian craft, or can other people do it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you have the right intentions, you can learn it. And I feel like you should learn the culture first and really dive deep into the roots of it and really learn about it,
Yeah, understanding
deeply.
the culture before diving in a little bit.
Before all of that. And not thinking, oh, I can make a business out of it. Because, there's a lot of people who moved here and then started lei businesses. And, that's really good. But I feel like you should learn the culture first.
Yeah.
Tradition, and get into that part. Give back to the community in some way.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for giving back to the community. That's great. And then what would be your advice for somebody getting started in lei making? I'm sure you can't just start with 100 different flowers in front of you. How do you begin your early steps of lei making? Would you recommend just starting with a couple flowers and kind of getting better at that?
Yeah,
or just go for it?
Whatever you are growing, wherever you are, there you can start a little garden if you wanted to lei garden and use what you have and start to kind of familiarize yourself with the flowers you're working with and start there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because it really I feel like a connection to the flowers too is so important. When you're growing your own flowers and you're on the land, and even if it's a small little garden, it still is so much more important and meaningful.
Right. You have a connection to it.
You have a connection to it.
Have you made any leis for anybody special?
I've made so many leis for so many people all over the world. I've been blessed. I feel so blessed that I could share it with so many people.
Yeah, I admire that. Taking something that's from your roots, you've made it your own, and now that's your artistry, that's your career, and you've been able to connect with so many different human beings.
Local
and then
farmers.
Researching and getting different ideas, what's the best way to do that? I assume just kind of scrolling through Instagram or looking at YouTube?
Yeah, familiarizing yourself with the farmers around here. I feel like you have to learn your community around here and connect with them, because I feel like they will help you along the way. They'll help you with flowers if you need.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a better connection when you do it that way, and they will help you because you're also helping them.
Right.
You know.
Oh, and who better to know more about the flowers than the farmers themselves?
Exactly.
So just working together to make the
Yes.
best product you can. That's what art's all about.
Yeah, connecting with everyone.
And what's next for you personally? What's next for Pamakane?
For me, I'm continuing the art of lei making because that's what I love to do, and that's my passion. It's been, you know, passed down to me, so I feel like that's where I'm at. Like, I want to start farming more. We're starting to grow a lot more flowers here, and we're, you know, digging into all types of flowers now. So.
And we are in a very secret location on Oahu. Do you plan? Does Ocean Dreamer plan to get bigger? Do you want to get more employees?
Yes, I do. I really want to expand a little bit more, but not too big. I really love just being in the country, farming, and being here. It's what I love to do.
We finished our leis and we didn't even realize how much time had passed or what day it was.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get lost out here.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I love it. I do want to travel and do lei classes. That's something I really, you know, am wanting to do, and, you know, teach people around the world. So that might be something in the future.
And where can we see your work?
Right now we have our website, and then we have our Instagram right now. That's been our widest reach right now. So that's been the most part.
Yeah. And what's it like working with almost a temperamental craft? The leis don't last forever. Is that an interesting standpoint, starting something that you know that's not going to be forever? It's not a painting. It's not going to last 1,000 years.
Yeah.
If you keep watering it and taking care of it, it's only going to be, what, a week maybe? Depending on how you make it.
Yeah.
Or is that just kind of the point of it?
It is the point. You know, you're making something that it'll last in your memory forever.
Yes.
You know, because I feel like the experience of it is more than anything you could just attain.
The memories last forever.
Yes.
But so do photographs. So go to Ocean Dreamer Instagram as well as the website to check out Pamakane's amazing leis. You also team up with some incredible models and photographers, and the pictures are just absolutely stunning.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap up?
Aloha, and we'll, you know, come do a lei class.
I can't thank you enough for joining me and piquing my interest. I do like to end with one last question. If you could excel at any other craft besides lei making, what would you want to do?
You know, I always wanted to sew.
Okay.
I wanted to always like make my own clothes.
Okay.
So
maybe we'll start to see some lei clothes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, and thank you to all my peekers out there. Please let me know if you know of any special or unique artists or art forms you think I should explore. I'm currently on Oahu and can't wait to see where Pique My Interest takes me next. Remember, creativity comes from the heart. Push yourselves. Be kind to each other. I'm Scoob Decker, and thank you for helping me pique my interest.
Oh, mahalo.
This episode was produced by Lizzie Webb. Be sure to follow on social media to stay updated on all the adventures into art and creativity, as well as all of the past Pique My Interest featured artists. If you like, please leave a review. Send us a message. Tell us what you think. Pique My Interest is for you, the peekers. Cheers to creativity, and I hope your interest is piqued.